some CT drop down player, crafty utility, but it's pretty basic as far as overall approach. As we see the CT's looking to get aggressive at middle, but it's been picked up upon by Device and Glaive. They're taking care of it just fine.
Taking care of business, taking out the push. But Golden at least is going to return the favor with 2 kills and could be going in for a third. They had a very slow start over on Train, but already showing that he's no slouch. Putting more damage down onto Glaive. Mages finally will put him out of his misery and get the avenging frag. But the bomb's been spilled out. Information gathered, and now Fnatic know they can push up 2 more plays up middle. Another 1-for-1 trade. And it's all about Brolan for me, because Crims is going to be going down to the hands of Dupree, and Brolan is trying to make moves up CT. Now keep an eye on the HP bars of Astralis. They are both low. Brolan could still clutch this. Indeed,
he could, and he might even be able to find a kit as well. It's sitting out in middle, so that will give him some options if they get a plant to have a bit more time to try to work things out. As you said, health is very low right now, Astralis. They played that really smart, though. Like, even though they lost out a lot of battles that they probably should have won there, they were able to kind of work it out. But the problem is they have no smoke to cross, and Brolan is right here to deal with them. He's sending out pot shot.
Albeit fleeting at best. 40 seconds. Just now moving up. 2 players watching, and it's Brolan with the M4 that pivots in first for the kill. And now Zipex will be picking up the slack with the Mac 10. They still got a bit of time to burn, but they have to be careful because the bodies are hitting the floor so quickly through Astralis, and the Danes have been down on JW. That's where Crims can free himself up. The flashes are consistent, and they are on point. No bodies have yet been put down, but now the casualties are starting to rein in. The body count is maximizing for Fnatic, although Glaive is going to alleviate some of the pressure and goes in for another one deep. Didn't see it from his perspective, but Dupree's now going to get one of his own, and Glaive can maybe close this one out, but he's only on 3 HP, and rounds now, and already up middle. Double smokes on to wrap around. This puts so much pressure on JW. He at least gets one, but that really won't be good enough. And Zipex, who's been waiting and anticipating this fast rotation, gets 2, and Dupree goes back out for the peak. Brolan is doing his best to hold on to the remnants of this round, and they realize peeking him at this point is definitely a foolish endeavor. Just get the bomb down and change the dynamic of this round on its head. Force Brolan to play aggressively, and he's had an exquisite start so far. He's 8-1.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got a kit, he's got some utility, and he's been playing really well, as you said, so maybe going for it, not a bad idea. The problem is the economy is so low to buy around. If this doesn't work out, that it's kind of still tough, but he's going to see what he can do. Great angle here on the mage, just great headshot as well. It could happen now.
3K to Brolan, but time itself is beginning to tick away. An enemy Device yet to get a kill, yet to get off the mark, but they not need to. Even with the kill, Brolan does not have enough time. He may not live to tell a tale. He was very close, but does manage to hold on to the orb.
Look at what it's done to Fnatic's economy. Yes, they're able to have the full buy here, but they're in trouble if they take a loss here in round 12. They've already taken a very heavy lick of damage on their key player at middle with that op shot. And now a 2-for-1 exchange gives Astralis long A control and man advantage. Vince, this is looking quite grim for Fnatic.
Yeah, they're just hemorrhaging plays. Device has gone in for 2 on middle as well. And that is their potential retreat line that has been cut short. No safe passage into a save. Astralis in a position where they can feasibly throw away a weapon or 2 without any issues if it's to deal with JW's AWP. So they have reached that critical mass now of not just rounds, but their economy that affords them the luxury and the freedom to do whatever they so choose. JW peeking out onto Catwalk. This makes him a little bit more vulnerable, but it's only the AWP of Device against him. If it was the AK, probably goes down, but a great shot into the head of Device. There is going to be Zipex, though, making moves through alongside. Deny the bomb plant a little bit longer to allow the players to get into position to try and fend off this AWP. And JW tries to mid-hit into B, or maybe try and congregate through CT side. It depends on how well Glaive holds the line here. USP by his side, smoke goes into his eyes, has a smoke of his own to extinguish that molly, and also flash himself through. It's also biding enough time for the window player to peek in one too many times, but Dupree, that first headshot was a thing of beauty, but he can't finish off the rest. Crims and JW, last Swede standing, will be a post plant as JW rushes down the bomb. And Crims taking a fight at range while the rest of the CT start to try and spill around into tunnels. JW, big headshot onto Glaive, maybe going to peek out one more time, and JW need to wind back the clock and find some of that old form to clutch down against Device. It's a battle of the Titans, and there's such an important moment in this game. Device is hemorrhaging.
Fnatic are on a halfway buy. Upgraded just trying to sneak their way into B, but they're actually just running into the chainsaw that is Mage is chopping them up with the M4. 3 already down, and it seems like this round has already been dusted off. just Golden left with the P250, and he is another big round here. A big entry from Brolin onto Xyp9x. Fnatic trying to build something here off the back of that previous round. It's a good start here in round 20. Glaive, though, trying to challenge at middle. Only good for one with the UMP. Device trying to get assertive here on Catwalk. Not going to find his man. Mej just did, but now he's left all alone. He's going to have to be a true magician to pull one out here. And unfortunately for him, Heat, that's a perfectly timed HE grenade. He's going to absolutely stuff them in the doors.
3 kills for Xyp9x and looking for more. JW's been smacked down to 7 HP. He has to just turn away and run for the hills. There's a monster looming overhead.
At the bit to keep shrinking that gap on the scoreboard.
I think it especially makes sense because it felt like the course correction moment was when they got the double ops in play for Astralis. Right, though, going in that round particular leaves a couple players bare, and he definitely can't get the double ops.
This is the problem, Vince.
Has got an AK, yeah, and this is becoming a real issue for Fnatic. They've already lost 2 players. Golden's tagged down to 30.
And dupreeh has middle. They have no fallback option. They are bottlenecked into A. They have to commit to this. And again, there's an AK on Glaive. There's Deagles aplenty elsewhere. Golden's low. This is a real big issue.
Xyp9x with a deagle on the cross, tries to fall back. There's a gap in the smoke, but it doesn't get punished. He just needs to stay alive. He knows that rotational play is coming in, and dupreeh with the deagle is putting down damage, death, and decay. Alongside Xyp9x. Glaive had the best spawn for long, and Xyp9x tries to thread the needle through middle. And he doesn't just do that, he threads the first frag. In doing so, alleviates some of the pressure that's been building up on the B side. Now, utilities being tossed in. They have to be wary and cognizant of the fact that Xyp9x could push through the CT side at any given moment. And this is isolating Golden from the rest of his team, and that's the bomb that's gone down. The bomb's dropped outside of Heat, though. It goes from bad to worse, and they need entries desperately. Crims is the man for the job. Takes off the head of dupreeh, and now Magic's stuck at the back of the car. Gonna try and maneuver himself into a potential clutch. Down go Fnatic, and Astralis take both maps 16-10. Anticipating the Swedes to push into his crosshairs. Xyp9x now making moves through over on the B side, leaving Device by himself, but Fnatic have already spilled out onto the site, looking to try and get the plant down, and successfully endeavor just that. Magix, though, takes the head of Golden in amongst the process, and JW tries to get up close with the Glock, but misses a couple of bullets, and that could prove very costly and fatal for the rest of the troops. Crims, though, holding on for dear life with the Glock, gets in with 2 big headshots, and as ever, Crims is heading outside already, trying to get up close and personal with Astralis, can hear the footsteps to his left-hand side, can see Mages, finally executes onto him, but pivots back into Glaive, who is joined by dupreeh, and between the two of them, they have fended off this push, but only for a few more moments before JW pulls the trigger and gives Fnatic the advantage one more time. Just shy of a minute on the clock, and Fnatic are weighing up their options. Flash out into Device. You can stay on the site. Knows his back is covered from Ivy. Glaive has that watched. Additionally, second player coming up through connector will be Xyp9x. May not be required because Device is doing it all alone. The AWP is just landing shots left and right. Oh, so easy for the Dane. And now Golden, 1-on-3 with the AK, gets sprayed down at range, and Astralis finally get that. Decent grenade damage, but they're going to have to follow it up with some deagles and the Mag 7. Well, scratch the Mag 7. Xyp9x has just been removed, and with him, the Mag 7 will follow. dupreeh, though, with his deagle. We had him on the highlight, the head-to-head for his rifling, but his deagle is definitely no slouch. Mejores dropped to 1 HP, but Device is using the close angle of the box holes, hoping to get the off angle, hoping to get that first pick, and they jump into him. He finishes off Crims, who gets splattered by the deagle, and now the upgraded AK comes into play. This round is certainly not done just yet. Jaquinho going in for the wide swing, gets punished by Device with the AK, and now JW is stuck between 3 players, can't get it done. And Astralis steal and snatch away this round out of thin air. Yep, falling into place nicely. Both the AWPs are having quite a lot of success. Magisk may have missed that shot, but doesn't get punished. At least not for the time being. And Crims, who's on 2 HP, gets slam dunked by Xyp9x. 2 HP, 2 HP. 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 2 HP Oh, peeking up before the flash has gone off Jaquinho. He just gift wrapped that across the device, and they're just going to be spilling in one by one. Device will not miss these chances. He's at the buffet, and he's devouring Fnatic without any issues at all. 15 kills already, make it 16, why not? And the smoke keeps him alive from upper, make it 17, and he could even finish it off, and he does with a beautiful
initial intel, and now they will just kind of fall back to playing more standard, knowing that they had the edge. Nice drive, Ence.
Again, 21 kills. I was just taking stock of the situation. Wasn't even trying to troll you that time. I promise. Fnatic, after having a really good start, remember this was 4-4 at one point, and Fnatic were looking like they could actually accelerate in the lead and get a really decent T-side posted up. 5 rounds may still be good enough, but it does put this into the hands firmly of Astralis, and let's be honest, they didn't need any extra advantages. They're already the massive favorites coming into this game. Device waiting on the back of Grey Train. Smoke's now being put down range, as is Jaquinho. Courtesy of Glade, Device is bypassing the smokes, and will now show his hand with the CZ, and of course he cleans up the T-side now, and we felt like this was probably the map, if any, that Fnatic was likely going to have some victory and some success in. After this, Dust 2 probably won't fare too well. Double grenades down onto box all. Jaquinho gets knocked down by Glaive. Was he mid-air during that frag, or was he the second player in? Not entirely sure, but it could have been an absolutely disgusting frag to pick up, and that will give way to the B site. Device at range takes off the head of Brolan, and now Zipex with the smoke, dispatching it towards the oil train. This will make it harder for Fnatic to go for that retake, and there is no flanking agent in effect either, so it'll have to be long-range incursions with the USPs. And it's unlikely that Astralis will pick too many times, but they actually have. And JW's just claimed the head of Zipex, actually giving Fnatic the player advantage now in this 2-on-3. And Magic's alongside Glaive are going to do very well to hold on to this site. Glaive has been absolutely punctured straight away, and Magic's has to try and clutch this 1-on-3. From the back of the site, he will strike with 2, and now we're playing the time. Crims has to tickle the bomb, and Magic's goes back in. In the blandness of the eco, Fnatic have anything but. There's a USP on Jaquinho, and a double grenade stack nearly takes down 2. Brolan has been exploded into little pieces, and JW with 10 HP.
That's like the patented Astralis nade stack, right? Like them and Big were like the two teams that really made that type of nade stacking famous on like key opening positions to get such early damage. I mean, they kind of revolutionized how HE grenades are used in the game. And that's an example of it again right there, just dunking on them, getting that kill onto Brolin, and JW and Crims are also bleeding out. JW now finished off.
Crims just running out of time, space, and HP, as it is the case, and Dupree sprayed in for 1, will go in for an extra. He wants to double up, not just his frags, but additionally, he wants to get Astralis across to the 12th round mark. And Golden, with a measly Deagle by his side and only 5 kills, has the arduous task of trying to do a bit of damage on his way out. Doubt he actually wants to save this Deagle, maybe can treat it as like a mini timeout, perhaps, and get together some ideas for the next round, but the round is the way of the Danes, that much is certain.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and they're going to keep on to the 2 main weapons they want, which is the AKs. Whether or not they want to move forward with those SMGs and try to do a bit of a bonus round is kind of up to them. I imagine they will. Most teams do. Fnatic should be able to full buy this next round, but it might be limited a tad bit, though with them having saved those 3 weapons over and being fairly conservative, it should be basically a full buy.
Yeah, 1 point was 4-4, and this is quickly accelerated away. Nice shot from Device. JW never really stood a chance, and Zipex with the MAC-10 has just sprayed Crims out, who did get 1 frag beforehand, but that MAC-10's now been upgraded to the M4. And to add into the mix that Astralis have the player advantage with 1 minute 30 left.
Yeah, that was so fast. Yeah, so fast to not only get one of the ops down, but also, you know, crush that ladder room play. And that really spreads the defense then for Fnatic now. You see Golden having to play very passive on enter, just buy time and maybe call for rotation for a retake. Maybe he happens to catch someone jumping off of Cloud if he gets lucky, but no one's going to give him that look. They're just going to put their utility down. They're going to play smart. They're going to get that bomb down. Again, not really giving Golden options. He misses a chance to maybe get them with the HE grenade. And Zipex has already found Brolin, and so now it seems like these weapons are just going to get saved, Vince. That's going to have to be the ticket here. It's just try to carry over what you can. Astralis will get the 13. And they are just looking, you know, in that dangerous form that they used to have when they were the best.
Well, they're exuding the killer instinct. There's no 2 ways about it. Jaquinho, nice flick onto Zipex, but ultimately won't make a great deal of difference. The economy of Astralis is already building nicely and simmering away. It is, of course, gives them the benefit of saving onto this AWP, and actually a secondary AWP's now been picked up. So this would be huge for Fnatic if they can hold on to both of them. W has been isolated. He is alone against 3. Can maybe use this smoke, though, as a bit of an opportunistic strike, but mejores just pivots around and takes his head off. I thought it would at least be a 1-for-1. But with him falling down, there's now an opportunity for Astralis. They still are low on time, and Brolan with the spray on point, putting that AWP to use. Crim's now posted on the site, goes down to the hands of Glaive. Seemed confused and perplexed as to where the teams were coming in from. And in amongst that chaos, he gets finished off. And now Golden, who's made a lot of noise through on Pop Dog, is not long. Golden, shoulder peeking with the incendiary. The second he sees a pixel, he will be tossing that and falling back. And Brolan watching in the Pop Dog. There's no HEs to try and flush him out. And Glaive, he goes down looking for information, finds it, but it's at the cost of his life.
Man, big catch for Fnatic again. This is one of those rounds you just want to coast through, right? You don't want to have any trouble with a round like this. You want to come out clean. Don't want to have to do a whole lot of rebuying.
Waiting. Gets pummeled instantly as they look to try and pillage and raise the site. Astralis spill out through the fire, through the flames. But Golden will make sure he suppresses as many of them as possible. The timing actually favoring mejores there as Golden decided to go back on towards the site. And although there's a Molotov down, Device fancies himself to land the Deegs at that range. Understandable his confidence will be surging after this performance. And mejores is just dipping out. He's like, listen, I don't really see a way forward of winning this round. Maybe he was thinking about trying to save a gun in Pop Dog, because there was a bit of carnage down there earlier. Right. But that smoke pretty much seals this round up. Mejores hoping for maybe an exit frag.
Maybe he just tries to go in full tilt. Yeah, never mind. Golden's like, nah, I won't be letting you do that. And that will push them back. They can't really come in just yet. They're playing behind the fire. That means the bomb plant will go down when you have a 5-on-5 retake ahead.
5-on-5 retake, not too much utility, but there is a lot of it centralized on Jaquinho. He has an incendiary and a HE, the only ones at their disposal. mejores playing up close. This is a position, especially with 5 players left, you expect to see someone in. Do you pre the backside of Boyle? Deals with JW, goes in for second, and is successful. mejores has been put down, courtesy of Brolan, but all the CTs are dwindling away, and Device has picked up his 39th frag. Crims will be trying to make moves up close right now. Knows he's got no time, and Device fittingly puts the last nail in the coffin. Astralis get 16 for 10 and take down Fnatic's choice of trade.